We have something here that has been a long time coming. We have debated, worked around, and debated more, figured out costs, usage. But after 4 years of being on the Homestead, finally got a water heater. Before this, we used to, heat up water on the stove and just kind of pour it over us, get cleaned up. But now we're actually going to have a shower. Go ahead and open this thing up. So we might have some hookups here. Now, here's the door. That's what it's going to look like from the outside. Got fasteners. It's like fasteners to the door to the wall and the door to the actual water heater itself. And there is the actual water heater. It's made by a company called Fogatti. This is 4,200 or 42,000 BTU on demand water heater. Let me get this out of the way so you can see the box. It's windy, of course, so I gotta kind of watch where things go. Now, this is a direct replacement for a standard water heater in travel trailer, campers, stuff like that. You just go over there. 6 liters a minute is its capacity. I think that's right around 2 gallons a minute, maybe just a little over. I'll double check, look it up, and I'll put it somewhere here on the screen. See, according to this, it's all in metric, 9.5 kilograms for, empty, 11.5 kilograms when it's full of water. Dimensions, it's like 12.7 inches by 12.7 by 13.8. So 12 by 12 and a 13.8 inward. I'll go ahead and open this sucker up and see what we got in this box. All right, instruction manual. Let's see if there's installation as well. Yep, installation, operation. Nice. That might come in handy. Yeah, it is instruction manual, so you never know. Get you underneath the door. All right. And here we go. Package in here. This must be the inside controller. You can set the temperature to whatever you want, so you can just set it. It'll be perfect. You don't have to worry about adjusting like hot and cold. You just set it to whatever, 104 degrees, 110 degrees, and you just turn on the hot water of the shower and you just got it. does have operating instructions here. Do not store gasoline or anything. Here's the exhaust. This is where all the hot air will come out of. Instructions for the digital display, which they will also have that in the box or in the book. All your control system, your control board. And it actually looks like there's a plug here. This might be for the control board itself. We'll find out in a minute. On-off switch, fuse. Now once we get this going, I'm going to measure the actual power usage while it's running, because we are off-grid. Let's see what we got back here. You can see here, drain valve operation, instructions, water outlet, water inlet. It's a little wet, so seems like they probably tested it, which would be a good thing. You have 3 connections. The red is positive, black is negative, and this looks like a, let's see here, we have a thin blue, we have 2 thin blue wires. It just says both of them go to the wire controller, so hopefully it's easy enough. We have more specifications here. It says total input current is less than 10 amps. So whatever the blower takes. That's the main thing I'm worried about. Worried about. 12 volt RV battery, 116 psi max. Minimum water pressure 14.5, so RV water pump will do fine. That's what it's made for anyway. Minimum heat is 20,000 BTU. I'm guessing temperature's turned all the way down. Maximum is 4,200. Got the connector for the propane. Yep, there's your controller. Set this up inside. Yeah, you just got two wires there. Yeah, you definitely have to get into the installation manual for that. Let's see here. You can go from 95 degrees to 123 degrees. See, I'm looking at the controller instructions right now. All right, and here's where it's going to be going. But there's the factory spot for the water heater. We have a other on demand in there right now, but it never really got warm. Like maybe 70 degrees or so, and it froze soon after. I did repair the split in the line because of the freezing, but we never really got it running again, so that's going to come out. Maybe it'll go to a different project. But in here is where it's going. Back there is a furnace duct covered by insulation. This area gets really warm with the heater, but that also means that it gets really cold when the heater's not on. So I'm going to be figuring out more insulation. I might just cover this whole door and everything, because the door itself doesn't have any insulation. Right now, as you can see, I'm kind of cleaning it up. Pulled out a bunch of stuff. Got shop vac, got bleach water. Go ahead and get this thing cleaned up. And we'll get the installation going. All right, so here we go. This is where we're at so far. Had to get kind of creative with the top there, as you can see. I ended up having to cut it about 3/4 of an inch up. Horrible cut, and I was nervous and frustrated and hungry and blah 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 blah. But anyways, um, because this whole back area is rotten. This here is actually a 2x4, 2x2, whatever they use for framing, and it's disintegrating. But as you can see, the wall is sinking around the floor. So the water heater did not fit in the actual opening. It would have fit just fine if the floor hadn't, if the wall hadn't sunk down. So what I ended up having to do is I got some 2x4s for just some supports here and down there. It'd probably be a good idea for me to do something across here, maybe from here to up here. And then same thing on this side. I just got that shoved in there for now. As you can see, the opening for the water heater, the factory one, is a bit wider than this one. So this kind of worked out as far as this 2x4 goes for support. And then I just took a saber saw, went across the top. Didn't really care a whole lot about how neat it was. All this is going to get covered up by the door. And we did end up getting to test it out. And it ended up not getting very hot. It only got up to like 95, 98, but it slowly, very, very slowly got up to 107 was the highest temperature. We're talking like at the end of a, quick shower, got up to 107. So started poking around. Hold on. And back there, right there, is a kink in the propane hose. And I think I see one up there too. But that's not as bad. But this is pretty bad kink. Pinched it off quite a bit, so it's not getting the amount of propane that it needs. Because everywhere on the YouTube, they heat up to 120 within, say, 3 seconds. And we're talking, 10 minutes to warm up to 107. So we're going to be going and getting a flare tool. I don't know where mine is, but a flare tool, a tubing bender, get it all set up proper. And then you can see these guys right here. And kind of got creative because we did have 2 of these guys, but one of them was cracked. And eventually I want to get brass anyway, so ended up having to use an RV pump connector, and it's 1/2 inch. These are 5/8, so 1/2 inch hose. So I had to get a reducer and all this stuff. We did get our first shower here, but like I said, it wasn't very hot, but it worked. And as soon as we get this taken care of, I also need to put a pressure relief valve in line with this one. So that's where we're at so far. I'm still going to need to put up the wall right here. Obviously, after all that's done, then I'll put up a wall. Gonna do that. Probably put the piece here and just have the wall out here or something like that. And then probably take it up and then somewhere in here so heat from back there can actually get up here. This is where the bed is. And it's the coldest part of the camper because of this big giant opening back here. So I'll get that taken care of. Then after that's taken care of, I'll get the door on because I want to leave this open so I can pull it out if I need to. But I suppose for now, I could take care of this section here, push that 2x4 back farther, put some kind of cover here, because this is obviously not waterproof, and the cover itself is not going to go that far. Maybe I can find, I don't know, a piece of sheet metal or something like that to go in there. But there's that so far. We'll get some more done, and then we'll get back to you. Alright guys, there you have it. Have the pressure relief valve plumbed in up there. This is the water outlet, that's water inlet. Forgive my hokiness here. I thought that was a 1/2 inch hose, but it's not. So I have this little piece in here that will get taken care of shortly. That's what the front of it looks like. As you can see, the water heater itself is a little bit smaller than the opening we had. You know, I want to say this was 13 by 13 inches, and this is more like 17, 15, something like that. So we got these stuffed in here for now. Here's where the pressure relief valve comes out. That's where it drains out. We only have a couple of screws here in the door, because here pretty soon we're going to be closing this in, and this is going to have to come out anyway. So there's that part of it. Alright, just turned it on. And that's the temperature of the water that's at the inlet. Off, on. I hit this button here and it goes to Celsius, Fahrenheit. You adjust your temperatures up and down. This is the temperature you want. 98 degrees, 100 degrees. So you go ahead, reach in here, and just turn on just the hot. You don't need to mix it. So on. It kicks on. There's the flame. The fan's working. That says the water's flowing. There we go. I think that's where I have it set at. Playing with the flow, so it's up just a little bit. But anyways, and there you have it. The fan will stay on for a little bit until it actually cools the system down. I do recommend getting this little restrictor kit, or even one of those little ones that have a valve on it that's adjustable. And those will go right up there. There we go. That way you can adjust it, and you don't have to mess with the actual knob down here. And there you have it. Fogatti 4200 BTU water heater. Do I recommend it? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. It did take a little bit to get used to having to adjust the flow to get the right temperature. Maybe if you're in a place where the temperature, the ambient temperature, the water temperature doesn't fluctuate that much, it'll be more consistent. But so far, definitely not going to complain. So if you want to learn more about off-grid living on a budget and follow us along on our journey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you know anybody that this video might help, go ahead and share it with them. Until next time, keep kicking up dust.